the stand. I carry that crest in my hand, rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the badge says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Let the whole ground shake, let the whole world know. We don't chase a moment, we are the home. Hands up high, voice up loud. Same old pride, same crowd. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. Yeah. Ooh. Blue till the end, blue till the end. Loyalty stays even through the storm.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Old stories living in the cold, every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our skin. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold, we were cut from that blue gold.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. And today we have quite a lot lined up to talk about. We'll talk about Pedro Neto potentially moving to Al-Hilal. We'll talk about Enzo Fernández, whether he ends up joining Manchester City or he stays. We'll talk about Malo Gusto. We'll talk about Tosin and Delap. Benoit Badiashile completing his medical at Napoli. We'll talk about a whole lot of our players, Nicholas Jackson, Liam Delap. But yeah, without wasting much of your time, follow me and let's get into it. And hopefully, deep down, I mean it when I ask you if you're doing well. So without wasting much of your time, we will go to the presentation window so we can start addressing the items we have lined up already. But as usual, because we keep it interactive here, I'm going to say hello to how many people in the chat? Just 2 people. One of them probably not there. Oh, I can't see his comment. Just give me a second here. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. The first person here says, Lolande Eric. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Should I pronounce it Lolande? I'm not too sure. Hi, what's up to you too, my bro? I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. And if you're just joining, please take a second, smash that like button, and also do subscribe to Trust Perspective if you haven't. Quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about squad numbers. We'll talk about Valentin Bauker's interview. Excerpts from his interview, what he has to say, or his responses to certain questions. Very interesting stuff. Big up to you too, that Truth 888. Always nice to see you, the Truth. I do hope you're doing well. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. And please, if you can, keep the topics aligned. We'll let you know when it's time for you to ask questions. And when that time comes, you can say anything you want, ask a question, and we'll respond. And you have every right to have a good conversation with the fellow community member in the chat. We encourage that. My bro is in the house, Vic. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. And once again, without wasting much of your time, follow me and let's get into the show. And hopefully we will get diversified opinions. A lot of people will join us. 1 or 2 more panelists, so to speak, will join me on the panel so you can get diversified opinions and not listen to I alone waffle. But I wanted us to start with the squad numbers. We can give me a second here. We can do this. Apologize. I'm gonna do this. Sorry, shamefully, not planned well. So I'm gonna go to the presentation window. We can start addressing the squad numbers. Interesting. Give me a second. X with his usual issue, taking the whole time. You could say a million years to reload. Give me a second. We're getting there. But as you're waiting for me, please keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Once again, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation. And have I done this? Give me a second. Boom, doing it now. I forgot to share the link in the panelist group. And thank goodness, as I was trying to show the presentation window, I came across this and realized, yeah, I haven't shared the link. So let me see, did he go through? X is very quirky these days, not sure what goes through and what didn't. Let me see, come on. But as you wait for me, please keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I just want to make sure you went through. It doesn't look like it, but I already hit send there, and I can't see. I'm not seeing what I sent. That's very, very annoying. Okay, there you go. It's there. Okay, I'm going to switch to this particular window and go back to the presentation window like that. A second here. All right, let's go. I apologize for I must say, quirky start. All right, there you go. Okay, Chelsea's 2026-2027 squad numbers in full, according to Chelsea FC. The horse's mouth, if you want to call it that. Give me a second. Why am I seeing the white bar there? But it doesn't matter. Robert Sanchez, number 1. Marco Palestra, number 2. Wesley Fofana. That's a switch, right? Number 3. Number 4, Valentin Barco. I love the number 4 as of when I enjoyed playing football. Maxence Lacroix takes the number 5 shirt, which was won by who? Badia Chile. Number 6, Levi Colwell. 7, Pedro Neto. So Neto keeps his number. Enzo Fernández sticks with number 8. João Pedro, number 9. Number 10, Cole Palmer. Jamie Gittins, number 11. He had 11 last season. Liam Delap. Why are we still mentioning Delap there? We already heard that he's training separately. Him and some other players are currently training separately from the main group. Okay, Liam Delap, number 12. Jordan Henderson, number 14. Nicholas Jackson, 15. Dario Isugo, 16. Morgan Rogers, 17. We know that already. Danny Welbeck, 18. Mahmoud Sa, 19. Who could be headed to Saudi Arabia, or maybe what's the other club? Emmanuel Emera, 22. Giovanni Kenda, 23. Reece James, 24. Moises Caicedo. Where is it? Moises Caicedo. Where is it? Where did I stop? Come on. Moises Caicedo, 25. Malagusto, 27. Teddy Sharman Low, 28. Pep Chavarria, 29. Aaron Anselmino, 30. Reggie Watson, 31. Nicole Jazuli, born in Australia, 32. Mihailo Mudryk, 33. Josh Achampong, 34. Tayo Shobole, 37. And Tosin Adarabioyo, 38. Mike Penders, 39. Esteban Williams, 41. That was his number last season, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Gaga Slonina, 44. Romeo Lavia, 45. Okay. Pedro Neto, João Pedro taking the number 9 jersey is something that a lot of Chelsea you can say of great concern to a lot of Chelsea fans because of that belief that the number 9 is cursed at Chelsea. But here's the thing: I think he's already achieved. You can say he's already achieved success before switching to the number 9. I don't think he will regress. I think he can only progress. So had this been the first time, if it's just arriving, I'd be concerned. But even though I'm not superstitious, but the way the players that have won the number 9 jersey at Chelsea, the way they've performed, at some point I started getting concerned myself, even though I'm not superstitious. But that's fine. Well, let's see what Chelsea fans, what they have to say on that particular report. We have a lot of items are lined up to talk about. We will breeze through those items in particular. Once we're done with them, we'll go news hunting as usual if we still have time or if anything new emerged. And I'm quite sure we don't have I'm quite sure definitely a few more stuff have definitely emerged since I rated the show. So I am totally fine with the numbers, with the number arrangements, almost as I predicted. Okay, let's see. He's not concerned. João Pedro, number 9, is an issue for him. Help me count the number of players there. Jesus Christ, is that how lazy people have become because of AI? This is too much. With the look of things, Valentin Barco will definitely play in Chelsea this season. That's not new there. I think he stays. No Achampong there. Maybe he's headed out on loan. I think somebody mentioned that there are 2 notable absence from that number. Too many players. João Pedro, number 9. Yeah, you get it. The expression there. I cannot wait for this lineup. I'm not going to look at the lineup. I'm just trying to see Not a lot of people in the comment here complaining or showing concerns. Okay, one here. Are you guys being serious about João Pedro taking the number 9 jersey? Number 9. Yeah. What? WTF? My season is about to be a disaster. For me, not an issue. If he helps with any of you, if you're concerned that he's taking the number 9, Kate, I'd like you to just remember he's already achieved success at Chelsea. He's won 2 trophies already. He's done very well before switching to that number. Maybe that will help him break the curse, if that makes sense to you. The truth says Liam Delap, Romelu Lukaku, Tammy Abraham, Gonzalo Higuain, Alvaro Morata, Radamel Falcao, Fernando Torres, Franco De Santo, the Argentine kid, Steve Sidwell, Khalid Boularus, Hanan Crespo, and Mateja Kisman. They all have won the number 9 jersey. But yeah, did you mention the Spanish guy? Did he? What's his name? That played on the Sarri. Did you mention Morata there? Okay, Alvaro Morata. Would you say? I wouldn't say Morata failed at Chelsea. It's just that we were expecting too much from him, in my opinion. But that's by the way. He said, so you're okay with your Nigerian brother Tosin losing at the number 4 shirt. Look, if he's surplus to requirement, he's surplus to requirement. And we've heard that Chelsea aren't really looking to sell him because we signed him as a free agent. If we wouldn't mind staying as a squad player, that did keep him. But I'd rather leave. He could still get a call-up from the Super Eagles. You never know. I don't really care. It's nothing to me, really. That's just me, okay? Aubameyang, Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbank, they all wore number 9, coach. And he says, how many were consistently world-class, coach? There is something to it. Are you suggesting that Didi took that number? No, he wore 11, actually. Who was the last person that wore number 9 that was successful at Chelsea? But again, as I've said already, if it makes you happy, João Pedro, he's already achieved success at Chelsea before switching. I don't see him regressing. If anything, the trajectory will still be upward, and he'll still be doing well. Albert too, yeah, but Tammy Abraham did well. Actually, he did well with the number 9 jersey. And the second season didn't play much because, yeah, Frank didn't have too many options at the time because we were facing a transfer ban. He had to use them, and he did really, really well. But the moment Frank got the opportunity to sign a few new players, he started he started dropping him on the bench. But that's by the way. Let's start addressing the items we have lined up. And please, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. Thank you once again for 30k plus subscribers. We're getting closer and closer to 31k, and we still haven't done the giveaway promise. But I told my boss to remind me. The promise was that we just have to wait for more of our community members to realize we started streaming consistently on daily basis, so that the OGs in the house we get the opportunity to participate in the giveaway. But that's by the way, Aston Villa to sign Tosin, ? According to Leal Thomas, he says Aston Villa are interested in Tosin Adarabioyo as a potential replacement for Ezri Konsa, according to Sky Sports. Interesting. They say, another man's poison could be another man's meal. What's the accurate way to phrase that? I can't quite remember, but you get it. Another man's food, yeah. Another man's poison could be another man's food. You never know. So, but good luck to him. It looks like he'd eventually end up leaving the club. And the fact that, yeah, someone else has taken his number, and there's a report out there mentioning a few players that are training separately. I can't quite remember whether he's one of those players. But that's by the way. Let's hear you. Anything you want to add to that? Otherwise, I'm moving to the next item we have lined up. All right, looks like this is that particular report. And he says Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson are training separately. He reads, Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson are part of a group of Chelsea players training separately from Xavi Alonso's first team squad. Chelsea have ripped up the club's old bomb squad approach by allowing the second group, which is as large as 12 players, some days to train at the same time as Alonso's main group and on the same pitch. Basically, feed the team. I'm not sure what to call them, but yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. One man's trash is another man's treasure. That's an excellent way to phrase it, actually. But yeah, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. People, the likes do go a long way. I want to know the names of the rest of the players that are training separately. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So many ways to phrase it. The truth. Thank you for that. And let's see, Coach. It's one man's poison is another man's meat. I've seen one man's poison is another man's food also. I think there are variations of it, but yeah. But thank you so much for that, bro. I appreciate you for also showing us an aspect of it. That's from my bro Henry Amaglo. Thank you, Henry, for joining the show. And my bro Mabast05 aka MB05 is in the house. Out of nowhere, JP took the number 9 shirt, but I hope he breaks the curse. I think it's a possibility. And as I've said already, he's already achieved success at the club before switching. And as I've said, the trajectory will always be upwards for him. I don't think he will regress. And that's my opinion. Let's see. The CC, Tosin, Jackson, and Delap are the only names we are aware at this time. Yeah, we can only speculate. And because the squad number list listed nearly even, he had all the players that we believe will believe in the club. So for me, this doesn't give away a lot. All right, the next item, let's go. Okay, this also gives away something according to the athletic. The athletic, is that athletic? How do you pronounce it? These are the players that are understood to be firmly in Xavi Alonso's first team. The below players are understood to be firmly in Xavi Alonso's first team. Plans to start the season unless in the cases of Fernandez or Neto, a huge bid arrives and a suitable replacement can be secured. Then certainly maybe those two will end up leaving. Goalkeepers Robert Sanchez, Mike Penders, and Teddy Sherman Lowe. Defenders Marco Palestra, Levi Cowell, Yorel Hato, Reece James. Give me a second, let me take care of something quickly. All right, goalkeepers Robert Sanchez, Mike Penders, no surprises there. Teddy Sherman Lowe, okay. Defenders Marco Palestra, Levi Cowell, Yorel Hato, Reece James, Wesley Fofana, Pep Chavaria, Maxence Lacroix. I think I perfected the pronunciation of both his first and last name. Midfielders Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernández, Romeo Lavia, Valentin Barco, Dario Isugu, and Jordan Henderson. Attackers Cole Palmer, Jamie Gittins, Morgan Rogers, Pedro Neto, Danny Welbeck, Yao Pedro, Estavo, William, Giovanni Kenda, and Emmanuel Emera. Give me a few seconds. Let me take care of something quickly. I'll be back. All right, so yeah, so far no surprises there, but we could still see changes if Pedro Neto ends up leaving, and Enzo Fernández, if he leaves, I think we'll definitely replace him, and that is just my opinion anyway. As usual, yeah, the disclaimer right there is important. All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation. And my bro is in the house. Big up, my bro. Kachila, I'm here. Please forgive me, I'm late. But as usual, you know, lateness, they say, is a greatness. I appreciate you, my bro. You don't have to worry about the lateness. You have your own show actually to host. I don't know. There's a chance you're even live right now. But always nice to see you, my bro. I appreciate you. I cannot thank you enough for always stopping by to support your bro. And for those of you, if you're following the show, if you haven't, please take a second, drop a like on the video to help us garner more likes. And likes do go a long way. So my bro is in the house. Please go check out his YouTube channel and also be sure to subscribe. Let him know I sent you. There you go, BCM. Big up, people. Go and subscribe to my bro's YouTube channel. Be sure to let him know I sent you the link there. I will pin it. He deserves to have 30K, 40K subscribers. Works hard. I'm quite sure, yeah, the priority for him is to, be as objective as possible every time he streams. And always he covers all the clubs, not just Chelsea Football Club. But please, if you haven't, go check out Nee's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. All right, what else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Nee, that's the truth saying hello to you. Kuchila says, Latilia, how much did you pay for what? Can you stop? All right. Yes, brother, I'm here. I just finished. Okay. Didn't know you're through with your stream. All right, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We'll move on to the next item. Let's see what happens. This list, for me, not set in stone. I think definitely can change. Because players could still leave. Even Malo Gusto could still leave. Reggie Walsh will spend the 26-27 season on loan, and that's according to Chelsea FC. Yeah, Reggie Walsh will spend the 2026-27 season on loan at League One side Wigan. Good luck to him. I think he gets to play week in, week out and continues developing. So I'm not concerned. I've seen some people that don't like that. But yeah, I'm happy to let you guys know that I have the captain of the community on the panel with me in Constantine Dundee. So you're definitely guaranteed to get diversified opinion and not listen to I alone waffle on the panel. Dante, big up to you and thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel. So we've talked about how many items here? Tosin possibly joining Aston Villa, and I'm hearing that there are plenty of clubs interested in signing him But big up. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, quite a bit of news to cover. And yeah, big ups everyone in the chat. And hopefully your tooth is good. Is your wisdom tooth slash
Oh no,
discipline
I
tooth
didn't take
okay?
off any. But go ahead.
Yeah, look, yeah, there's a bit happening. I was just watching, had a bit of a power nap, and then I woke up. I quickly was watching the what's his name, Barco interview because I haven't seen that. So I was watching the
I
Barco.
haven't seen it myself, but I know there will be excerpt from it that we can address later.
Yeah. So I was watching that. So couple of things. He likes to play with a lot of balls, and he's likes to touch the balls a lot. And
I
he's
really want to go to heaven, but I know the devil has a lot of agents around me trying to lure my dirty mind into the H negative place. But go ahead. I will
yes,
survive.
yeah. He loves being a midfielder because he grew up a defender because he likes to be closer and touch the balls more. So yeah. And other little thing I learned, he's a paddle player and very good paddle player actually. And yeah, I think that actually helps quite a lot. You have to have really, really quick instincts and really quick movement. So that's where he probably gets that from. So yeah, that was interesting to learn as well.
Yeah, I really like him. I think Vic did promise something that I can't quite remember. He says if Enzo Fernández stays, that he will buy you a Chelsea kit.
Who said
And
that?
it's still a
Vic?
possibility. We'll see. I don't know. Well, let's see what you have. I noticed no Gusto. Yeah, Gusto omitted. Did you see that, Dante?
No, from where?
No,
From the
there
new
are
shirt
two
number?
notable omissions from that list. Let me go back to that list. I think that's on Vince's timeline here. Let me go back to that. Two notable omissions there. There's no Malo Gusto here. Did I miss it? Here are the names we have here: Robert Sanchez, Marco Palestra, Wesley Fofana, Valentin Barco, Maxons, Lacroix, Levi Kowo, Pedro Neto, Enzo Fernandez, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Jamie Gittins, Liam Delap, Jordan Henderson, Nicholas Jackson, Dario Isugo, Morgan Rogers, Danny Welbeck, Mamoudou Sarr, Yore Hato,
He's there, yeah.
Emmanuel Emera, Giovanni Kenda, Reece James, Moises Caicedo. Okay, there's Malo Gusto here.
Yeah, he's
That's what, no,
27,
yeah,
so it's up to you. Yeah.
yeah. There's Malo Gusto there. So sorry. So anything you want to comment on the list, or did I cut you off? Were you speaking and I cut you off?
No, that's fine. No, the list, yeah. I mean, there'll be names that won't be there anymore as well. They're still there, so some of
And there are
those.
also some names might still leave because there's still what's his
Oh,
name?
there has to
Lamb
be.
Delap still there. But go ahead, what you were saying.
There has to be. Pretty much, Alonso said he wants a 25-man squad, so that tells you, sort of numbers that he's looking at. So we've kind of got that with Omega being that 25th. So I think the rest, will probably miss out most of those. So they'll probably be sold, loaned out. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with the rest. But there's still quite a few to be moved on, definitely.
Yeah, and he is saying Jackson is out too, but Jackson is listed here. I
He
remember
is
seeing
listed,
his
yeah.
name when, yeah, he's
He
listed.
is.
Yeah, but let's
Yeah.
see what happens. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Tosin's there, number change. There's young guys
But
are
the number
there. So,
change, I mean, it's telling. It not really just
yeah.
gives it away that he's basically gone.
Well, they gave it to the best number 4, the other really tall defender in the team. The other number 4, what's his name? Barco.
Oh, Barker
From the
took his
tallest to
number.
the shortest
I think
player.
for
That's
me, that tells me that he's
20.
definitely leaving.
Yeah, he looks like he's on the way out, and I think 'cause he's got a lot of suitors, and I think he's been turned. His head's a bit turned, and good on him. I mean, if he's not promised, and he's got an opportunity to go somewhere where he can play a lot. Well, it's actually good for Chelsea because we're gonna get basically money for free, pure profit, and he goes to play. So if Alonso's had a good look at him in the preseason. Obviously, he doesn't think he's suited to his style.
I remember hearing that the club wants him to stay. That he's one of Alonso's. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Alonso said that. Yeah, in
Yeah.
an interview. Yeah.
So, but there's a chance he himself. I think he would want to leave. It just wouldn't make sense for him to stay and become a bench warmer. He's still. I mean, he's not old, in my opinion. I think if he
No.
goes to a club where he gets a chance to be playing week in week out, I think then he could get a chance to play for Nigeria. I'm not England, no way. But go
No.
ahead.
Yeah, look, exactly. He might actually. If you go to a mid-table team and you're a starter and you're playing every week, you're probably going to get that Nigeria call 100%. There's no way you're not going to get that call up. Playing in the Premier League. So yeah, look, that's probably it more. And plus, now we've got some more experienced heads that have come in. We've got players that are more mature or older. We've got 3 or 4 of those that have come in. So he's not that guy anymore, that, old guy. So he doesn't have that pressure, I guess. He doesn't need to do all that too much, probably. So I think it's him as well, quite a lot, in my opinion, getting a chance to go somewhere and play. Yeah, I think it's probably important for him. Probably Alonso had a chat to him and said, not really in my plans. If you stay, you probably won't play that much. You might play, obviously, if there's injuries or, but yeah, and I think he probably made that decision as well to move.
Sorry, Dante. Are you following the sports double swap for Omar and Savino? I haven't read anything about that. And Nee is saying, let's see what Nee says here. Give me a second, please. And he's saying, you're always cutting people off, but they don't bleed. Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ! That's Nee
That's a
just
deep cut. That's a deep cut, knee.
yeah,
Very
that's a
deep.
deep cut on me, Nee. All right, let's see what Vic helps us with a report here. He says Tottenham working on double deal to sign Savinho and Mamouche from City. Tottenham aiming to land both 22-year-old Brazil winger, 27-year-old Egypt forward. Not done, but talks with Manchester City advancing at according to the Athletic. They're serious. They're serious, but for me, I think they're making too many changes at the same time that it end up being an issue for them, in my opinion. What do you think, Dante?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird what they're doing. Players that have been there a season, Marmoush, Rodriguez or no, Martinez. I can't remember the guy, the midfielder as well on the way out. Then obviously Savinho. Yeah, it looks like Maresca's causing a bit of havoc there. So I'm not sure what's happening. Um, Maybe they're just trying to shuffle quite a lot players that maybe want to leave, but also they need the money, the space for some certain players probably that Maresca's asked for, and we know who those are probably.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see, what else do we have here? Nee says, bro, Tosin will not help Nigeria to the World Cup, but he brings experience. I think he's a good defender. He's a box defender and probably will help them. He's not going there, to be the main guy to the World Cup. Please forget about him. We have better Nigerian players at home. But if he wants to play, I think if they get a chance, I think they will give him a chance. He can just be part of the squad. It doesn't have to be playing every game. I mean,
Again,
yeah.
if he's a starter for a team, like say he goes to Villa and he starts there, or even a lower team, and he starts every week, well, he's gonna get a call up, and he's, over a lot of other players that, like you said, they're at home, but because you're playing in the Premier League, that's an experience as well. So yeah, experience counts.
Experience does count a lot, not even a little bit, honestly. Experience does
For the
count a
defense,
lot.
especially for the defensive side,
Yeah,
yeah,
keep
definitely.
going, Dante. Let me just put up a poll here.
Yeah, so definitely for the defensive side, I mean that's the most valued probably area. A lot of teams, that defensive, central defensive area, they do like experienced guys that have been around, and now he's been a bit around a bit. He's been at a massive club like Chelsea as well. for a bit, and now if he goes, I'm sure if he's going somewhere where he's going to play a lot of minutes because just don't see him leaving Chelsea otherwise. I wouldn't. I think he would have been happy to stay probably as a squad player and not
But
play
he
that
wants to be
much.
playing. Yeah.
But I think he probably, yeah, he wants to be playing, and yeah, and Chelsea will definitely say yes to that because we got him for zero. So anything we sell him for, that's a big,
Huge gain. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't
it's a
think we'll
huge gain
be.
for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Just give me a few seconds more, please.
Jackson is out to. Jackson is out to. Yeah, Jackson won't. I don't think he'll be. I knew this from the start. I don't know why people kept. We know. I knew Jackson's not gonna stay and play second or third
To
fiddle to
anybody.
anyone.
Yeah.
There was never a chance of that happening, in my opinion. So I think he's just waiting. He's got an offer on the table, probably Aston Villa, but he's probably waiting for more offers, and he's waiting to, and he's gonna weigh him up. He's gonna choose the best one. Um, with all the stuff that Man City's done, don't be surprised. Maybe Maresca comes for him. You never know. Getting rid of Marmoush, the other sort of striker there that plays next to Haaland sometimes, or instead of Haaland. So they're not going to have a striker, sort of a second striker. So I wouldn't be surprised. You know how much Maresca liked him as well. So you never know.
Yeah, I agree. So let's see what does Vic have to say. What does he have to say here? So Vic says yes, too many changes. City does not act like this, but that's because the director of football left even before Pep. Ooh.
It's not because of that. It's there's
No, no, I'm
more.
just saying. He just said, he is it okay? He said, but that's because the director of football left even before Pep. But I don't think that. So it wouldn't make sense to say that that's definitely the reason why they're all leaving, right? That's the point you're making.
No, I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason is the change of management, which is a big change. Obviously, a brand new management team, Maresca with his guys coming in, looking at players and not taking a fancy to some of these players. That's what happens when new coaches come in. Just it's happened to us plenty of times. So yeah, that's what happens. And I think probably Maresca's not a fan. Yeah, and I don't really see him being a fan of those type of guys like a Savinho, fancy sort of player. I don't think he would, use him that much. Marmoush again, really, I don't see that's his type of player either, to be honest. So all the players that leaving are kind of not really a Maresca type of players. So that tells you a little bit as well that I think it's probably other stuff involved. And like I said, Man City need to clear funds because they need a couple of signings, not just one. I think they need two, maybe three signings if all those leave because they need some profiles they're missing. And I think Maresca wants those profiles pretty badly.
Yeah, Nee says, bro, you think he can play in the African Cup of Nations with how slow he is? Why not? Why
He's not
not?
slow. He's not
And
slow.
Tosin's only problem is acceleration. Tosin is actually deceptively quick,
Yeah, big
but
long
doesn't
strides.
accelerate. Yeah, he doesn't accelerate quick. That's just the issue. Which, if you're a manager and you are aware of that, you'd find a way to conduit that deficiency of his, or maybe mask it, for lack of a more relatable language. There, go ahead, Dante, if you were still
Well,
speaking.
you're not going to play a high line with Tosin, are you? So, he's not going to play in a high line system. He's going to play, a bit deeper, and you're sitting back or in a back three. So it's system based. We saw when Maresca used him when he first came in the first year. He used him really well, and Tosin did really good. He was one of our best defenders actually, because all the other defenders kind of fell off. He was actually one of our best defenders, to be honest. So after that, when Maresca started, experimenting right before he left, he was putting him when we're playing high line against teams like that and Aston Villa. You can't. I mean, you can't put him in those situations, especially in a back two. Not even in a back three, in a back two most of the time. So yeah, no, yeah, that was a mistake, and that made him look really bad. He's never gonna, do that. He's never gonna do well in a system like that. But now we kind of know why that happened. But yeah, that's for another day.
All right, Nee is saying greetings to you. I hope I got the name right. Absolutely, that's his name.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's his name. You got it right. Let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the conversation this particular afternoon. It's still 1:26 p.m. CST. For me, Mamouche, Savinho, and Cody Gakpo, all targets. Spurs would ideally like to make a triple swoop according to Ben Jacobs. Too many changes. Once again, I think that's going to be problematic for them for a while before eventually it will click. Change of management at the top. That's my point. The club is changing direction. Could be. Honestly, I don't know. I really do not want to pay attention to that. We have Hakim in the house. Hakim, thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. We haven't addressed anything serious yet. We just addressed the squad numbers. Even players that we believe will leave the club still listed. It's just that Barco took Tosin's number. No surprise in the case of, I think, who moved to number 5? That was Badiashila's number. Lacroix. Maxence Lacroix took his number, right?
Yeah, I saw the list. That was like I never knew um how the number of the players that we have. So they listed the players, and I was like, oh man, that is too much players to have in a team without Champions League playing one game a week with this amount of squad. I think it's too much. So within this week, I think they have to do a lot to cut the. I think at least 8 players have to go from the squad, or 10 players.
I think eventually they will. I think Delap will leave. I think Jackson will leave. Who else? Mark Gee will
Yeah,
leave. Gee wasn't listed. Mark Gee wasn't
yeah.
listed.
Maggie wasn't listed. Tosin will leave. Axel Disasi wasn't listed. Um, yeah. Pedro Neto, I'm not sure. Um,
It could still happen. It's still a
I'm
possibility. Yeah.
I'm not sure because if Pedro Neto has to go, then we have to bring another winger. And now I saw a news where it says that Rafael Leal was like a was given to Chelsea, like the Chelsea, this
Oh yeah,
agent.
the usual thing that he's been offered to Chelsea.
Yeah, he was offered to Chelsea,
Every
but
year, yeah.
Yeah, every year. Yeah. I wouldn't. I think. I don't think we're interested in signing Leao, and unfortunately for him, it doesn't look like any big. Not a lot of. I haven't heard about any big club being interested in signing him.
no, before he thought he could go to Fenerbahce or Galatasaray, like one of the Turkish teams, and
Mm.
I don't know what happened, but then it fell through. So, and he even went. He also did like an Enzo, but his was even worse because he said it verbatim that he wants to leave AC Milan on interview, and he said he has done what he has to do there. Now
Yep.
he's looking forward for a new chapter. So Amorim said that yeah, you want to leave, but then now if you have to say you are not like a first, you are not a first choice, so you have to fight for your place. So it's more like his future is blink at AC
He
Milan.
put like
So
40 million euros on his head. That's
That's a
very
lot of
low.
that
money,
That's
right?
no, it's not a
yeah.
lot of money. Before they were quoting 80 million euros or 80 million pounds.
Yeah,
We
but
are,
but but time has proven that he's not worth it. That's
yeah, I'm
that's
not
another
saying
way
it's
to
not
see
worth it.
it.
Like it's more like there's a whole lot happening in AC Milan. You understand? He also had his own like Parma season. You understand? Like, but he was still bringing like respectable numbers. But I think at this moment, no one is going to buy him even that 40 million. I think if they've gotten out to get something like a 30 million, but 40 million for me for
He'll probably
Rafael
go to
Leal is a
Saudi,
good.
most likely. That's where he'll end up.
Yeah, but right now, like, there's no one there. So, do you think they want to keep like a player that is not happy?
You never know, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, right now everyone is playing mind game. Like, just Look at what Man City wanted to do. Imagine they bought a player that is not at the Enzo caliber for 170 million, and then you come to Enzo and then you want to play game like a 2 midfielder. Like this, they are crazy. It's more like when people come to Chelsea and they want to buy Chelsea players, they like they've already made up their minds in their head. Because some of the players that we sold, imagine like if we are going to buy the same players from different teams, the amount that is quoting for us. Just imagine Tariq George at this moment, he went for 30 million. Like when you see Tariq George, he's totally a different player. He's like a beast. At this moment, if we go for Tariq George, it'll be costing like 60 million, especially how the market is inflated. So, like,
All
you
right.
know,
Go ahead if you are still speaking.
yeah. So right now, like, players are going, like, they are going for what they are not worth it, and the ones that are worth that money is like you want to play games with it. And even if we
Yeah.
sell Enzo 120 million, like we are not making any return. Like it's not like we're making crazy amount of return. Like, could you imagine if I tell you that Tariq George will bring us more money than Enzo, and Enzo is a World Cup winner? How does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. Tariq George will bring us more money than Enzo, and then they don't want to pay that amount, but then they pay for a player. Trust me, I've never even watched this player for 130 million or 70 million pounds.
Yeah, there you go. Yakon is yeah. Let's see what Yakon has to say. He always comes with trouble, even without saying hello. He has to start with a fight. But let's see what he has to say.
Yeah, his favorite player, Leao's his favorite player.
Yeah, he likes him. I've seen him suggest. I think he's actually in one of his comments. He suggested that Leao is actually a better player than Neto. Which is a part. Leao, I'd say, more equipped than Neto, definitely. But it depends on what you want from the player. Neto more selfless on the pitch, more hardworking on the pitch than Leao, definitely. Rafael Leao isn't worth it, but Neto is. I don't know. We're not buying Neto. Explain this logic and please don't talk about crosses because I haven't even mentioned crosses. Rafa offers a vast majority of other attributes, including excellent crossing, and he's actually an explosive player. He can beat his
Yeah,
man better than Pedro Neto is, but yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
but
saying
That's because he
but
all,
walks
he
and
all
then
cannot
all of a
play.
sudden he accelerates.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's an
but he
explosive
cannot
player,
play in
but
this
the
system.
point I'm trying to make here is that he hasn't lived up to the hype.
No way, no, he
He
hasn't. Not
he
even close.
hasn't, not even close. I know his talent. Chances are, if we signed him, he'd come and cook for us. But I don't think we're interested in signing him anyway.
And Neto is
Um,
a starting player for Portugal. They won with Neto starting, very important for them in the Nations League final. Neto is a starter for Portugal all the time. Leao, not really, no. So that should tell you that yes, he's worth a lot more than Leao, and coaches value that type of player a lot more than Leao.
all right, let's move on to the next item. Or Hakim, you want to say anything else before we move on?
I want to say something about Maresca at Manchester City. I heard you guys talking about how players are departure. It shouldn't surprise you. Like when he came to Chelsea, the same thing happened to us. Like, do you remember where what is his name? The Portuguese player Joao Felix departed, even though like we bought him exactly on that window, and Chukwumeka also. And this man also said, I think at some moment, uh, what is the name of our Brazilian midfielder that went to
There's a few
Manchester?
of them, yeah. But that happens at every club, though, Hakeem.
No, no, I mean that happens, but the way in the manner that it happens is crazy with him. Because imagine Joao Felix, we bought him exactly, we didn't even use him and we have to sell him because he insisted that he doesn't want Joao Felix. And also he doesn't want Chukwumeka. He was using Chukwumeka in some sort of games that, like, he made Chukwumeka unhappy. And
I think
like
that was a
for
good
me,
decision though to let Chukwuemeka go. To be honest.
He actually
yeah,
wanted
I
to
mean,
leave. I think Maresca wanted to keep him. Who was it? Did he leave under Maresca?
no,
Under
no, no, no,
who?
no, 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 no. It was our this former Tottenham coach. He wanted to keep Chukwuemeka, but Maresca wanted Chukwuemeka to leave. Chukwuemeka was never in his plans, and also Joao Felix was never in his plan. Even Santos wasn't even in his plans. I think when he brought it on Santos, and they were like, no, they have to stamp their authority because he wanted Santos also. Santos wasn't his type of player, and Maresca also is not a coach that improves players. He doesn't know how to improve players. The only thing that he knows how to
That's
do
not
is
true,
to get.
Hakeem. Come on, he's improved a lot of players. We don't win
He
a Club
improved
World Cup,
players a lot, but he'd
and
have to like
yeah,
you before he improves you.
No, but apart from what is his name?
I mean, go ahead with your points so that we can go to
Yeah,
the.
yeah,
We
yeah,
don't need. Yeah.
yeah. But apart from Nicholas Jackson, I don't think there's any player that he has improved. Even some players regressed under him. Palmer regressed. Joao Pedro regressed under him. Joao Pedro started scoring goals when he left.
All right. Thank you for that, Hakeem. We move on to the next item here. What do we have? We've talked about, and Yakon is killing me. If you can sign Ganacho, you can sign Leao. All right, but thank you for that. It's not quite straightforward like that. We've discussed the Tosin topic. What else do we have here? Delap and Nicholas Jackson, all part of a group of Chelsea players training separately from Xavi Alonso's first team squad. Chelsea have reaped up the club's old bomb squad approach by allowing the second group, which is as large as 12 players, some days to train at the same time as Alonso's main group and on the same pitches. Dante, anything you want to add to that, or just move on?
yeah. There's a bit more to that. Also, players that need fitness, and so it's not a bomb squad anymore. That's basically it. So there's players that might leave, but also players that need to be get fit, coming back from injury, fitness, etc. So they've kind of rebranded it a little bit in a way to not make it as a bomb squad, because obviously that wasn't a good look, and obviously
Just to not reflect negativity,
yeah,
Yeah,
but you can't help it with Chelsea media. Unfortunately, they'll make it. That's what they made it into. It wasn't really that anyway, but that was the headlines. That's what they made it into. They made it much worse than it was. So now they've kind of trying to move away from that image, and yeah, it's a good move. Yeah.
All right, thank you for that. Let's move on to the next item. Hakim, you have anything to add to that, or you're good?
no, the only thing that I don't know if it's true or not. It's a question. I thought like a FIFA or UEFA has banned this bomb squad thing, so it's not a thing anymore. Like you can't separate your players from not training with the first team.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that's
Even if
just, yeah.
yeah, I thought you don't like a player, and then you let the players.
Hakim, your connection is breaking up. You might want to go out and come back in, but go ahead, give it a shot again. Let's see. Yeah, your connection is breaking up. Let's move on to the next item. This one here, players understood to be firmly in Xavi Alonso's first team plans. And I'm going to read that for you because Dante, I think you weren't on the panel when I read that. So it reads, that's according to The Athletic. It reads, the below players are understood to be firmly in Xavi Alonso's first team plans to start the season unless in the cases of Fernandez or Neto, a huge bid arrives and a suitable replacement can be secured. That tells me we might not be willing to any of our current players go if we're and if important players, to be more specific there, if we're not sure we'll be able to sign a replacement. Goalkeepers includes Robert Sanchez, Mike Penderson, Teddy Sherman Lowe. Defenders, Marco Palestra, Levi Cowell, Yoel Hato, Rhys James, Wesley Fofana, Pep Chavaria, and Maxence Lacroix. Midfielders, Moises Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Valentin Barco, Dario Esugo, Jordan Henderson. Attackers, Cole Palmer, Jamie Gittins, Morgan Rogers, Pedro Neto, Danny Welbach, Yao Pedro, Estevao Willian, Giovanni Kenda, and Emmanuel Emara. I think it'd be accurate to still say notable omissions. Josh Achampong, Liam Delap, Nicholas Jackson. Achampong probably had that out on loan, in my opinion, but this is someone's opinion. This is definitely,
This is the Athletic coach, so
yeah.
the Athletic and Talk Sport, I don't really pay too much attention, to be honest. But yeah, that's just their opinion, what they think. So
Which is, you could say,
maybe
it
not.
is believable because if you pay attention to what they said, unless in the cases of Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto, a huge bid arrives and suitable replacements can be secured. That makes it sensible and as such believable. But go ahead.
Yeah, look, like I said, Athletic, not the best source, to be honest. They don't like Chelsea very much normally, so they have quite a lot of people talking rubbish about Chelsea all the time, so don't really pay attention to them. But yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like anyway on the outside. So they're just doing very good journalistic work and looking on X and typing that up. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Hakim, is your sound, your connection okay now? You want to comment or should we move on?
Yeah, we should move on. My connection
All
is
right.
okay, but now we can-
Yeah, it knocked, I think I was looking at it knocked you out on 2 occasions. All right, Reggie Walsh will spend the 26-27 season on loan, and that's at Wigan. Dante, do you think that's a good loan for him? And
Very
and,
good
and
loan.
I wouldn't argue against that, in my opinion, because yeah, I don't think he's mature enough to be starting for any Premier League club.
No, and it's a very good loan. Number one, it's a good team, the way they play. Number two, he got the number 10 jersey.
Did
Now,
he get the number 10 jersey there?
yes, you're not giving the number
So,
10
which means
jersey
they
to,
value him.
exactly. You're not giving the number 10 to just anyone. Him getting the number 10 jersey, he's going to be playing a lot, and I think that's why he's gone there. He's going to be a starter, probably looks like it. You don't give that 10, maybe not quite as straight away, but if he, I think he's got to play a lot of minutes. I wouldn't be surprised though if he's a starter because you don't just give the number 10 just to anyone.
All right. Happy to say that we have Bobby on the panel. Bobby, I appreciate you finding the time to join the conversation. And I do hope you are doing well. So, Bobby, we are on Reggie Walsh. He's joining Wigan on loan. You want to add to that, or should we move on to the next item?
Look, how old is Reggie Walsh again? How old is he? 17?
Yeah, very, very young.
Hmm. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good move for him. Being a starter at 17, I don't know, even with Wigan. But whatever's the case, he will get a lot of game time.
He will. And the fact that they gave him the number 10 shirt shows they value him. And I think I'm just going to say he's guaranteed to play because these days we don't just send players out on loan. We ensure that the clubs that get our players on loan, they sign some sort of they agree to some sort of clause that he plays certain amount of games, or otherwise they will pay a hefty fine. That makes me happy and I like it. All right, let's see what else we have here. Tons to lined up, and one that I really want to get Bobby's opinion because he's been complaining in the group about it. We'll get to that in a bit. Chelsea value Pedro Neto. Chelsea class Pedro Neto as an elite winger, and they value him highly enough to say they would want close to £100 million to consider a sale. Sources have said several times this summer that the prices of proven white men have spiked this window. The second part of it, there's another report which says, according to Fabrizio Romano, Pedro Neto and Al-Hilal is one to watch as he remains on their list. I think they've actually, and I did see a particular report that said something to the effect of they've scheduled further talks, which means they've already held talks already. I'm not sure what to make of that, but that's let's hear you. It looks like he could actually end up joining them, even if the manager wants him, if it's open to moving to Saudi, to go get the bag, as we say. I don't think the manager can stop him from leaving. If he's bent on leaving and going to Saudi for the money, we can't stop him. And the fact that we were hearing, I don't know whether to believe that or not, that he's already agreed personal terms with them, which is a possibility, but I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. But let's hear you, Dante. You there? Okay, Dante is gone. Hakeem, you want to speak on NATO possibly joining Al Hilal? That looks
Yeah,
like that's the only club that seem to be seriously interested in signing him. City, they've made it clear that Chelsea's valuation is just too much, and they're not going to pay that. But let's hear you, Hakeem.
I mean, City disvalue all our players. So, it's a win-win situation. I mean, 100 million is a good amount of money for Pedro Neto and also a good gain. So, for me, I'm not in a favor for us to to sell him. I would like to keep Pedro Neto, but if we have 100 million, it's good. I don't have anything to say about that. If he want to go, or if we are not pushing him out and he want to go, okay, yeah, why not?
Yeah, the truth remains if a player wants to leave, that changes everything, irrespective of whether you want to keep them or not. I mean, you can if they're still under contract. I mean, you can resist selling them, but you don't want to risk keeping a player that's not happy. But let's see how that pans out. It looks like we're not eager to sell him, but at the same time, we're not going to stand on his way if he's looking to leave. But let's see. So, breaking news here. I'm going to bring it up. I think we're just going to talk about that one. Just give me a second here. And Vic, is that new? I think we have something similar lined up, but I want to highlight that one, but it's not showing up on my control screen as quickly as possible so that I can highlight it. But I'm just going to read it out and pay attention to my control screen. If it pops up there, I will highlight it on the main screen there. It says, breaking news, Man City are unwilling to meet Chelsea's demands for Enzo. They are targeting Manu Kone, according to Jack Gohan. Is that how you pronounce his name? I don't even. That's the
I have
first
no
time.
idea who that guy is.
That's the first time I'm hearing that name. And because of what goes on during transfer windows, I'm not sure I should trust him. But I'll still bring it up on the screen. But if anybody on the panel, since this is breaking now, want to talk about that, let's hear you. And I think that's also built on something we've already heard. We've also learned that they're not willing. I think we addressed a similar report yesterday that they're not gonna win. They're not willing to meet our valuation, or maybe go beyond it. The latter part isn't necessarily really, but Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing new. It's it's Real Madrid didn't want to do that. Man City don't want to do that. So Enzo will be staying if that's the case. Now I don't know who that guy is, Jack Gorn.
If we're to believe the report,
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is, but look, they do need, like I said, they will need a midfielder because, you know, if Gonzalez is it Gonzalez? I can't remember his name. I keep forgetting that midfielder they have as well that they brought in last season as well. He's going as well. It looks like it. They need a midfielder, so they have to sign someone because there's not enough players. So they will have to sign a midfielder. That is 100% because that's one area. You know, Anderson came in obviously, but it's it's not enough. Rodri and that guy going as well. Well, then you need another midfielder in that area. So yeah, we'll see who they go for. Again, I'm not gonna he's the Man City reporter for the Daily Mail. Okay, Daily Mail. All right.
Okay, so maybe that gives it, you say, takes up a notch the credibility.
I don't know him. Like I said, Daily Mail. Yeah, they're one of
No,
those
but
big
let's say
tabloids.
if he's a dedicated reporter for the club, it probably has some credible sources.
Yeah, Daily Mail.
That is an opinion. I'm not saying anybody
Yeah,
should
yeah.
just suck up to it because for that reason. But go ahead, Dante.
Daily Mail is one of the big tabloids. They put things like that every single day. 80% of it is never true, but they just like to make big headlines. But yeah, look, either way, they will need a midfielder, maybe even two. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. The way Maresca, he probably might want a couple of midfielders in there, a creative one, and maybe like a Manu Kone that is more of a box to box type of guy that can, do a lot of running and defending as well. So that is one area they're short in, and they will have to sign. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see indeed. Hakim, let's hear you before I go to Bobby. Your thoughts. Have you read that yourself, or you just seeing it just like us? It's breaking, according to Vic.
I think there's a reason why everyone is like a kind of shy away from Manukone because he is an injury prone player. And if they want to go and get Manukone, then good luck. That will even like
Especially in the Premier League, yeah, that's another step up.
yeah, yeah, especially in the Premier League, bringing a player like a fragile player to the Premier League. Oh my God, good luck. And I'm happy if Enzo stays, and when he goes, okay, I'm also happy. So this is not our problem. This is their problem. And I hope we never deal with them again. Trust me. Like at this moment, like I think they are in the list of the team that I hate in the English Premier League. And I hope they they go down like the way we went down.
Go ahead, Hakim. Were you still speaking? Or did I?
As
No,
long as
I'm
we
just
still have candy to sell, they will come and buy. If they will, there's no way we're not doing business with them because yeah,
I mean,
they
you
spend a lot
always
of
go
money
to the store where you get the product you want.
yeah,
and
but
the most
I
money.
mean
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean if it's teams like Arsenal, I would say Arsenal is more like we have grudges with Arsenal more than Man City. But then Arsenal's whenever they come and they want our players, boom, we mention the price for them and then they buy them. Kai Havertz, Noni, and all the players that we for Arsenal, they never devalue our players. And imagine, like, this is what I don't understand. You have a World Cup winner, a durable player who has like a zero injury record apart from his groin, and when he came, he healed well. You understand? And runner-up World Cup, like a really good player, and then you went and buy Alan Addison, or what is the name of this player for 117 million pounds. He hasn't achieved like a zero thing. He hasn't achieved like half of what Enzo have achieved. And then you come to us. Trust me, like even the 100 million that we quoted, like they were quoting, I think they wanted to buy him, below 100 million. They think they can have him below 100 million because they thought, we would like him to go because of the antics that happened. Trust me, this is what I think was happening. So when heard about 120 million, they are like, oh no, no, that is why they didn't even make like any. They didn't even make any effort because I heard that they said they wanted to pay like they are willing to pay 120 million euros, and Chelsea, one of the journalists came and debunked that and said that that wasn't true. Like they never made any offer. So like I can tell you, like their budget on Enzo Fernandez was really below.
All right, I'm gonna find that particular. We have something up here about Enzo Fernandez. So Chelsea, they've denied they did not hire super agent Georgie Mendes to help facilitate the sale of Enzo Fernandez. I don't know if you've seen that yourself, Dante.
Yeah, I did just before I came on. I had a look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but before I think we'll still get to that. We'll talk about it, and that also justifies the argument that yeah, it is the season, so people just put out something believable. You say reference one or two things that make it sound sensible, and people will suck up to it and not even question it. But even that's by the way, Bobby. Do you want to add to this particular topic, or should we move on? That suggests City, Man City are unwilling to meet Chelsea's demands for Enzo Fernandez. They are targeting Manu Kone instead. But let's hear you. You want to add to that? You're good.
What, me, coach?
Yeah. You, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, what a joke. Look, Chelsea have set a price that says, look, we don't want to sell these guys, but if you want them and you're ready to give us this sort of money, then we'll ask them if they're ready to go, and if they are, then we can do a deal. There's nothing strange in any of this. What is strange is the hype it's being given. You see, over the years, Chelsea's scandals and mismanagement and chaos has fed a lot of content creators and a lot of what I would call Chelsea trolls out there. They've always had a scandal to pin on Chelsea. They've always had something to say. This is perhaps the first time in a long time we've gone through a period where there's really nothing to say. You know, the transfers, will they happen, won't they? Well, Chelsea have come out and told you how they can happen. Now, will that happen? It's not up to Chelsea. It's really up to the buyers, and then they'll consult their players. Do their players want to go? I think that's highly debatable. Not one of those players has indicated that they want to leave in any way, shape, or form. This is all imagination, suppositions, and dreams of a lot of people out there. Look, it's a jokeable situation, and you know, for once, we're just going to hopefully have a clean season, have an injury-free season, and have done the right things in terms of squad selection and progress. And I can assure you that the fan base that make their news off negativity of Chelsea will be screaming and ranting and farting and pulling their hair out at a whole load of nothing. It's become so desperate that because the ownership went to, for commercial purposes, change the name of the under 19 and under 21 team. Although when they're competing in competition, they will still be called under 19 and under 21. We've had Talk Sports. We've even had Sports dedicate a whole program into demonizing Chelsea because they've decided to call their underage team Next Gen. I
Yeah,
mean,
with the
it's
name Cobham still part of it.
well,
Actually, yeah,
it's a whole load of nothing burger. It really is a nothing, but it just shows how desperate they are for that negative news.
that really pissed me off when I read the nonsense some Chelsea fans were saying about it. And I was asking them, did he change it to maybe La Mesia Next Gen?
Yeah.
It's
It's
still Cobham Next
exactly.
Gen. And just
It's
if you understand
ridiculous.
English, it just or if you understand how brands work, it just brand enhancement. It just gives it a more meaningful name.
It's
The next
such an
generation of Cobham, the senior players still do train at Cobham.
it's such an unnecessary conversation, but they're desperate. They're desperate, and this is what they're doing with this so-called approach for Enzo. Now, will Man City drop the money? Time will tell. You know, will anyone else come along and drop the money? Because Real Madrid didn't get Rodri. I'm surprised they haven't started stirring up tails with that one. Time will tell. All I know is that the players themselves are not that flustered. The team, Chelsea, is not that flustered. And they put a very serious caveat. If the money is dropped and if replacements can be found. So all the get rid of brigade that just say, oh, get rid of this, get rid of that, and cannot come up with a adequate upgrade replacement, they may find themselves highly disappointed come the end of the transfer window. And Enzo and Neto, and probably maybe even Gusto are still at Chelsea. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't. All right, let me catch up what we have in the chat. We'll come on to the panel and move on to the next item. We've addressed this. And a big up to you, Nemaya Fawole, a.k.a. Esther Willen. Always nice to see you. And Jojo, big up to you. Big up, panel. I hope all is well, gentlemen. I can't complain any day above ground. It's a good day for me. I hope you're good. I appreciate you for finding the time to join the conversation. And if you're following the show, be sure to drop a like on the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. High Goal, who said as much as Pedro Neto don't often offer much going forward in terms of goals and assists, but I love his energy defensively, his commitment. There are a lot to like about him. And if the manager is happy to keep him, fine. Look, we have a manager now. And as I've said 1,000 times, we should learn to submit to his demands. And I'm not saying he's perfect. If he demands we sign certain players and the players end up not measuring our expectations or maybe not doing well, everything lands on him. He's a Man City reporter. Thank you for that. And Yakun says that the chick on the club directors listing Neto for such a price. What's more impressive is the Saudi clubs actually entertaining this thievery. In your opinion, I think you don't just like him. You're not even trying to be objective in that aspect. You're not even considering the inflated market. You're not considering those factors. You're not even considering that he's an international. You're not even considering that he was, if not, he finished the season with the highest XG, if anything, at most second or third. So you're not being objective there. You're just letting your opinion of the player drive how much you believe he should be valued. City are close to having £250 million bags on sale. Of course, they are coming for Enzo. Listen, there's something you've refused to consider, and I'm happy you were the one that shared that report you said is from a dedicated City reporter for the Athletic. Is it for the Athletic also? A Daily Mail you mentioned? If Chelsea, as we've heard from certain quarters or certain reporters, if they feel like we're not going to be able to get a replacement, what if they plan not to let Enzo go if we cannot get a replacement? Which I really think, deep down believe, is the case. If they can come with 200 million and Chelsea will say no. And of course, exaggerated number there. And I don't think City will offer that much money for Enzo. But let's see what happens. It's a possibility he stays. You really want it to happen. There you go. We have one of those moments of somebody wanting something to happen so that they can say, I told ya. But Vic, it's all love, and you know that. If Man City feels, let me see, I think that deserves to be highlighted. Let me see that particular comment there. Give me a second. Where is it? This one here. Let me highlight it. Okay, if Man City feels 120 million is too much, we're happy to keep Enzo. We've heard that 1,000 times. Yep. From a lot of reporters out there, ex-journalists, if you want to call them that. They just signed Anderson for 116 million. Enzo scores assists and is very creative. World Cup winner, Club World Cup winner, Copa America winner, you name them. Why would we sell him below £20 million? I think they're not serious. I think probably they've moved on, which is why we're hearing those reports we're hearing. No one is pulling hair out. You already lost yours? Sorry. to hear that, but I'm moving on from that. Too much disappointment. Okay, Neto. All right, I'm not sure what to say about that now. So we're gonna move on to the next item. I think Hakim, you want to add to that? The City are not willing to. I think you've spoken about that already, but if you want to add to it, you go ahead.
No, let's just move on from this. It's just jarring. Let's just move on.
All right. Let's see. We've addressed that. Benoit Badiashile has completed his Napoli medical, so he's a Napoli player now. Hopefully, they will sign him on a permanent, which I doubt will happen. I think he'd still come back to Chelsea at the end of the season because I don't trust Italian clubs. They always find a way to get a player for cheap. False claims about Chelsea and Georgie Mendes. Chelsea say there is no truth to claims that they have called in the super agent Georgie Mendes to help sell Enzo Fernandez.
You
Shame
see
on
what
you,
I'm
Vic.
saying?
Shame
See
on
what
you,
I'm,
Vic. Have you seen that now? Go ahead, Bobby.
see what I'm saying? This is all desperation to try and make some sort of story out of nothing. There's nothing going on. Nothing. But they're just pushing all kinds of narratives out there with the hope that something will stick.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You there, Dante?
Yep, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, crystal clear.
What was sorry? Because I was just getting something.
Chelsea say there is no truth to claims that they have called
Oh yeah.
in or maybe hired super agent Georgie Mendes to help sell Enzo Fernandez.
No, they wouldn't because he costs a lot of money. First of all, so I
To get
didn't
him
think that.
involved, yeah.
Yeah, to get him involved, and it's a bit late for that. I don't think that would happen. He wouldn't probably get involved now anyway. So, no, I mean, yeah, that's it's good they put that out. I don't even know who actually put that out. That is the case. It's just like Bobby said, basically. It's people putting stuff out. They're just assuming stuff, and unfortunately, most of these journalists, if it's not, the top two, basically they all assume all the time. It's just one thing after another, and it's yeah. Why? Because it gets clicks, gets this, and that's how they make the living. Unfortunately, that's the new age journalist.
Yep. You want to add anything, Hakim, or you're good? Up to you. All right, Bobby, are you back? Have you? No, I'm not sure why your connection kicked you out, but you're back. I think you have a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you were speaking.
No, I'm good. I think I overheard someone say maybe we should talk about something else because this is jarring. We're just going round in circles.
Mhm. All
It really
right,
is
let's move on
a
to the next
nothing
Let's
burger.
item.
put on something positive, coach. Let's talk about something positive.
Well, it doesn't have to be
Okay, but
positive, but just
we're
something
almost
else.
we're almost we're almost getting at the end of
I think it would be better for us to
yeah.
start talking about the season because the season begins like this week.
Yeah, we will soon.
So
We'll start with the lineup to stronger the lineup. So this says João Pedro signs new Chelsea contract. João Pedro puts pen to paper and signs a new Chelsea deal until 2032. All documents are approved. Key part of the Chelsea project, and that's according to Fabrizio Romano. He is happy. Then he was one of those that on the pitch when we were losing games. If you look at him, you'd know that if you see his face, you'd see that he's was never happy being on the pitch and we're losing at the same time. I'm not saying he looked as if he wanted to leave the pitch. No, just wants to do more to see if we can get a result or maybe cancel out goals and all that. Even when we're down 2 goals, he's still playing as if it's still 0-0
He ran
and we
himself in
want
the
to
ground,
win.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he ran himself in the ground many of those games, probably trying a bit too much, but that just shows the commitment, what you said. So, yeah, look, it's very well deserved. I know he started, obviously, even though it's preseason, etc., but, he started on fire already. So, yeah, he deserves that contract. He was one of those that's in line for a new contract. He's got the new shirt on as well, the number 9. I thought that would happen last season. So it looks like it's happened this season. It needed to be done because that shirt, even though whatever people say it's cursed, etc. Look, it sells a lot. It's number 9.
If it makes them happy, Dante, if you will excuse me for just a few seconds here, for those that are concerned, those that are superstitious enough to be concerned with regards to the number he's chosen, he's already had success at Chelsea. He's
Exactly.
switching to number 9, and after all, Tammy Abraham wore that number 9 shirt and did very well. It's just that you could argue Lampard did him dirty when we were under a transfer ban at the time, but the moment we were able to sign players, Lampard didn't use them as much. But in this case, that's by the way, I digress anyway. The point I'm
Yeah.
trying to make is this: he's already successful at Chelsea,
Yeah,
and
and
he's won
like I
two trophies. One trophy, right? Well,
one
yeah,
trophy.
he's won one trophy already, and our player of the season scored tons of goals for us. Scored a few in the Champions League and the Premier League and the Cup game. Did he score in the Cup game? I think he did. So he's just switching to that number 9. If that makes you happy, you shouldn't be concerned about the number 9 jersey carrying a curse, a curse at Chelsea. No, I don't think he will. It will work on him. I think if anything, he will continue on that upward trajectory because he's already laid a good foundation for himself. But go ahead, Dante.
Yeah, look, and it's not really cursed. I mean, we've had players that did well in it. It's been a while, but Crespo was very good in the number 9 jersey, So, and then there was a lot of number 9s that came after that weren't really even strikers. They just wore the number 9. So, yeah, there has been some disappointments there, but a lot of those were, at the end of their career, some of those as well. So, look, it doesn't matter. Like you said, he's already done it. It is important though that number 9 jersey, that sells a lot of jerseys as well. So that's why I thought it would happen last season because of that, the commercial aspect, the value of it. I can guarantee you there's going to be sold a lot of João Pedro jerseys now that he's number 9, especially. It's going to probably double from last season. Obviously, because he's, new contract, he did well. But, you know, wearing that number 9 jersey, for a lot of people, a lot of, kids, etc. Yeah, it's a very, key number. It's a key position. And it was you had to do it this season. Like I said, I kept on about last season. They should have done it last season. So if they did do it last season, you can imagine how many goals he scored, etc. So yeah, look, very happy. It's good, looks good on him, and I think he'll do very well. I have no problem with it.
I think basically he got a pay rise, right? Because Shannon, he's
Of
already on
course.
a 7-year contract.
Yeah, yeah. An extra year, I think, and an extra option on top of that as well. An extra year option on top of
For an extension.
yes, another year extension on top of that as an option. So yes, he's here for a very long time. He wasn't. I can't remember how much he was on. 125. I think he's up to 120. He was on 125. Now he's up to 150. So yeah, something like that. So he's not on crazy wages, but yeah, he deserved it, and that's what Chelsea have done consistently. Now
And
the
he's
only one
committed too.
he's committed. The only one that hasn't signed is all the key players pretty much signed. Enzo's the only one that didn't sign, which tells me that he was asking way over the odds. Because otherwise, everyone was happy to sign. So yeah, I think it's probably just that's why it hasn't happened. It's out of reach for Chelsea. Probably it's way too much, in my opinion.
I haven't heard anything that again that's believable with regards to numbers involved that they discussed during the contract talks. It is speculations at this point, but the truth
Well, what we know is,
remains.
Coach, Reece James is on 250. They reduced him down to 200, and that is the largest salary we have,
Did
200.
he really take a pay cut?
Yes, he took a pay cut and a new structure, performance based. Uh, he was on the old structure before, and
Wow.
also there's injury clauses in his contract. The less he plays, the less he gets paid as well.
Wow, that's loyalty, uh, epitomized right there. But
I think
yeah,
that's what
that's
they're
by the
trying
way,
to do,
Bobby.
Chelsea.
You want to add to that? Go
They
ahead.
tried to get everyone at that 200, the main players, together at that 200. Obviously, a lot of then incentives and bonuses. Let's not forget it's minus 20% this season, whatever they're on already, because no European football. So, yeah, but I think that's that
A
limit.
huge. You could say one of the main. You could argue most likely one of the main reasons why Enzo would want to leave because yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah,
Um,
it is one of them. Yeah.
Bobby, anything you want to add to that? João Pedro, he signed a new. What would be the the most accurate way to phrase that? Give me a second. Yeah, I'm gonna move away
It's a
A
from
new
this
renewal,
window.
contract.
coach, a
And
renewal.
yeah, a new contract.
Look,
Yeah, yeah.
A renewal
this
contract.
this just had to be done. I was listening to Simon Jordan on Talk Sport when he was referring to modern day ownership and the fact that there's a lot of pride involved. It's a power play. The Chelsea ownership has been hurt by last season. Whether a lot of it was due to Maresca, who is somebody I can assure you they have very, very much in their sights for so many reasons. They don't have to be reactive about it, but they will respond to him outside of the money that was taken to him. I
Mm.
think you are quite mistaken. I think you view these footballers as money sharks and you think, oh, these guys are very, very, very well paid individuals as it is. It's not everywhere you can go and be earning 300K willy nilly. That was part of the problem. If you look at Barcelona's current wage structure, it is such a far cry to the 1 million a week they were giving Messi, which is what nearly destroyed the club. Now,
And every other players, all the players they had on their books at the time,
well, I wouldn't
their
say all,
wage
but
bill was
most.
one of their biggest problems, right?
Yeah, most of them were on moderate wages, and they are certainly on moderate wages now. You'd be surprised how many of them are on 100K. I'm not quite sure what Yamin Lamal's on, but I don't think it's outrageous either. So this idea that, oh, I'm earning 150K here, and all of a sudden I want to jump over to this team because they're going to give me what? What can they give you in the modern football capped wage era? They're not going to give you more than about 200 anyway, which is give or
No,
take.
Bobby, that's not true. Man City, if Enzo goes to Man City, he's not going there for less than 300 minimum. Mark Gay is on 300,000. You think Enzo's not going to get more than a
No,
Mark
but
Gay?
I think
Well,
I get Bobby's point. He's just
listen to
mentioning
my
that
listen to
that's
my point.
the wage cap, salary cap
The,
thing.
yeah, the new algorithm. I mean, Mark Gay is on
Yeah, yeah, I know.
300 because he signed that last season. This season, I'm not sure. In fact, I'll try and check how much. Elliot Anderson is on, you'll be surprised that many a club cannot cross that 200K threshold. Now, does it mean that they wouldn't offer Enzo Fernandez about 300K? Well, they're going to have to.
Bobby Anderson's on
If
300K a week himself.
Well, they're going to have to offer that if that's what you found out.
Here's the thing.
You see,
I think I get Bobby's point. The numbers, the number, the salary measure doesn't have to be accurate here. The point is there's a system in place to keep in check the
how
Not to
salaries
be
much
ridiculous.
clubs
Yeah.
clubs?
are offered
Yeah.
to people.
Now,
But go ahead.
Elliot Anderson perhaps got 300K because of the departure of Bernardo Silva, who was on goodness knows what at the time. And yes, there's the wages of Rodri, which could give leeway. But the point I'm making is that these players are not as financially driven, as we tend to think they are.
That's the point.
Men.
That's the point I'm waiting for you to go to make. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the example is what Reece James did. Okay, he's a Chelsea boy, but Reece James didn't have to drop his wages by, a few tens of thousands. Caicedo has happily signed within the wage bracket. And you see, there's such a thing as job satisfaction. In football, loyalty and allegiance does come into it. And you don't know what kind of project structure has been given to these players. Now, I'm not saying that if some club comes along, like, Al-Hilal, for example, and offers Neto 600, 700K a week, like they do, he might think, this is tempting. Maybe I can just secure my family's future and then take it from there. Maybe, but honestly, it's hard. It happens with some, and it doesn't happen with others. And you can't really know who it's going to happen with unless you are in the know, or unless you are that player um, themselves. I'm just putting it out there because it seems a lot of people are invested emotionally and otherwise in the departure of Enzo Fernandez from Chelsea. Now, I'm not invested in that. I don't want him to leave. And however, if he does leave, I don't think Chelsea would suffer too much from it. So I'm trying to be sort of open and objective about him, Neto, and all these somewhat high profile Chelsea players. And the fact that João Pedro has signed a new contract after goodness knows what Barcelona would have been trying to wave at him, although Chelsea have the contract in hand, so they are more or less in the driver's seat. It goes to show that there's a little bit more than just money that motivates players to achieve. There's their legacy, there's their pride in their craft, and the legacy does matter to them. They like to leave clubs knowing that they are remembered. I saw a video of Eden Hazard going back to Chelsea to go to the club shop to buy the kit for his kids. There's a lot of value to these things that some of us as fans tend to underestimate in the psyche of these players. So signing João Pedro was very important for Chelsea. It was very important for the ownership after their disgrace last season. They're still hurting on that. And the way they're going to approach this season, we've already started to see it. They want success now, quite seriously. And, the fans clearly do, and we shall see it. You're not just going to pluck Chelsea players because you've got it in their head that they finished 10th and they're that club that you can just go and pick up their players. They've already sent that message. They've got the big players to re-sign contracts, and they've put a king's ransom on other players that they are quite prepared to let go if that kind of wages is met, that kind of purchase is met. And even upon that, they put caveats to it: getting replacements. And in what, about 10 days of transfer window, that's going to be a bit of a hard call. It's not impossible, but it's going to be a hard call.
All right. Big up CFC, CFC 5E. Dante, let's hear your response to what Bobby just said.
Yeah, agree with some things he said, but some not. I mean, unfortunately, at that level, it's pretty much mostly about money, to be honest. It's number one, especially when you're gonna double your salary by leaving and going to another. And let's not forget the fees, the agent fees, personal. There's personal like bonuses you get when you change clubs. There's stuff put in the contracts, extra bonuses. There's like some sign-on fees. So all of a sudden, you're making an extra $10 million just by moving a club to the other
There's
club. So
image rights.
correct, yes.
That's
So
usually, yeah, I'd say from everything I've heard, I'm not an expert with regards when it comes to the construct of the sort of
correct,
contracts
coach.
that players sign. But I've
Can I
heard
just ask
enough to
one
know
thing, just quickly?
image rights seems to be one of the most difficult actually to
Especially
iron
for
out.
a player like Enzo Fernandez, where image is everything.
Can I just ask one thing quickly? Because this
Hmm.
is not necessarily in conflict with what is being said.
Mhm.
But when you sign a new contract, a contract extension or revised contract, I am right to think that there is also a sign on fee, or there can be a sign on fee included in that deal.
They can be correct, yes,
So,
but
there's so
never
much
bigger
scope.
than going to a you know, for example, Man City, Real Madrid. It's nowhere going to be nowhere near as much, and that's pretty much for every player going the next step. Even if it's from a small club to a medium club, it's a massive jump. So they can't usually match that. And for a player like Enzo, for example, we have a salary cap. 200 looks like that's the limit. Everybody, that's 200 is we're not paying more than 200. Well, yeah, that stops a lot of stuff, obviously. And the problem, Man City, they get away with a lot of stuff. Who they're owned by and what they do, and how much stuff can be off the books as well. So they're always going to offer a lot more. And for some players, that image is everything. Like an Enzo Fernandez, when your stock is at highest, World Cup just he was everywhere, on every TV, on everywhere. His stock is the highest now. So a year is a long time in football. A year is a very long time in football. He stays at Chelsea or he goes. You get injured. Well, that's it. We're not selling him for anywhere near that if he gets injured. So players, especially at that level, they take every opportunity they can to get that big payday. Why? Because it's not really a long career. Football is not a long career. It's basically from 18 to was normally like 32, but now it's more like 34. But that's not a long career. So at the top, the players at the top, they squeeze everything they can, absolutely everything they can, as much as possible. Some players are just like that, but then, like Bobby says, some players are like comfortable in locations, etc. They can compromise, but not at that level. It's all business. Most of it is all business. I can tell you, João Pedro doesn't have a good season or something next season, and then Barcelona come. Now they have to pay a lot, but he would go if they offer him 400K a week. He would go straight away. I can tell you that he would go.
Yeah, it depends on how much more they're willing to pay. Because
Correct.
sometimes you're already settled somewhere, you wouldn't move because of just £10,000 extra.
Exactly. No,
Yeah,
we're talking
but
millions here at that
yeah,
level. We're talking like $10 million, basically. Now
extra,
that's a
or let's
lot of
say three
money.
million extra a year. You can
Yes.
go. So to the point I'm trying to make here, I just had to wait for Bobby to get his point across, and then listen. I'm never going to change my stance that in it first. I usually remind people it's a job, and a dangerous one at that. Within the span of 1 week, if it's up to, I don't know whether it was actually up to 1 week or so, Musiala passed out on the pitch on 2 occasions
Yeah, exactly. I posted
and
that. Yeah,
temporarily lost consciousness, right? It's a dangerous job. It's a job, a
Yeah, but
dangerous one at
they're
that.
well insured,
they are
coach.
very
Yeah,
well
I
insured.
understand.
Yeah.
But even at that, I understand. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I've always told people, usually when we have such conversation, I always like to remind people, it's a job, first of all. That is what they do to put food on the table for their respective families. Just like on our respective vocations or maybe
And
jobs, we work.
Ferrari's in the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, but you get the point. I know you get the point fully well, Bobby.
The problem is, Bobby,
There's
when you're
loyalty.
rich,
I'm not
that
saying there
rich,
isn't loyalty in football. Even
yeah,
in our respective lives, sometimes we work for a particular organization so long that we find it difficult to even move you start working for another company that will even pay us more. It happens, but it's usually rare. It's a rare occurrence. It's a job that I've always told people money comes first, loyalty secondary. You can also get them to at least listen to that part of their, you say that part of your thoughts, heart, maybe whatever your consciousness, whatever you wanna, whatever you wanna call it, that's saying stay here. But you have to make them treat them in a manner, maybe either paying them a little more for them to say, you know what, I'm just gonna take this little more, you could say. A better pay rise, a better pay than I was earning than to get twice as much. Sometimes it's rare, it's not all the time, than to get twice as much to go and play in Saudi Arabia maybe or another club. We've been there. Osimhen, you could argue a very good example of that. Although he's earning quite a lot at Galatasaray. But he could have, maybe had he gone to Saudi, he'd be earning twice as much, or maybe 50% more. But he decided to stay or to join Galatasaray. So it happens. But more importantly, I think money comes first because it's the job. Money comes first, loyalty secondary, in my opinion. Dante, anything else you want to add so that we can catch up with what we have in the chat and move on to the next item?
Yeah, and a very good point. And if you look at the average, how much a player stays with a club across world football, talking about professionally, it's 2 to 3 years max. That is the new average. Players don't stay with clubs anymore. There's no loyalty. Why? Because that's the culture when you get to those levels. It's ruthless. It's a ruthless culture. Clubs are ruthless normally. They're very ruthless. And players learn to be exactly the same back because they come up through that system. It's all about money. It's all business. And that's why it's very rare. Rich James is our only one. And now that's, because he's obviously Cobham, blah, blah. He's loved fans. He's a nice guy. He's very good off the pitch. But, we've babied him quite a lot.
We're not even sure. Even I get it. He took a pay cut. How about the image rights? Maybe he has got something better in that aspect too.
Yeah.
So we don't know. It's usually not as straightforward as a lot of people think it is. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, and when you're a captain, there's different things you get as a captain. There's a lot more of image rights and also bonuses, etc. when you're a captain as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff we don't see. So he's made it up in a different area. But he's one of those rare. Why? Because the club looked after him so well. Like he was out for so long and we kept him and he was loved and got looked after. So he kind of repaid that back.
Which also makes it possible. Which also tells me there's a possibility he just wants to repay the club for being patient with him and not giving up on him.
He was injury-riddled player. He didn't play for years and years. He was out every season, not playing hardly at all. So that's a different type of case. That's a rare case that happens like that. Most clubs actually will just get rid of the player most of the times, but he had such a good, because he's Cobham, blah, very rare, very extremely rare. So, but he's the only one. The rest are all new players, basically.
We're not downplaying. Look, loyalty exists. Players wanting to join some other club because they want to win something, that still exists, which you can argue that aspect, the legacy Bobby talked about, I can't forget what other term he used. We're not downplaying all those factors, but I'm just...
And put it this way, Reece James. Next year, Reece James is not selected to play in the team. Just hypothetical. He's not going to play. He's not a first choice.
He would want to leave.
Reece James, you think he will stay?
No,
he will not stay. No, he won't. Exactly. So loyalty doesn't count. You have to be playing and you have to be, and that's why I said Reece James is a very, very rare occurrence because the circumstances behind it. So, but that's the only one. But if he doesn't play and is not first choice and he's gone too. He will go straight away.
All right, more likes, people, more likes. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We're at 33 likes. I believe we should be doing a lot better than that. So if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I've addressed that one. I've said hello to this, my bro, there. And yeah, says as a Chelsea fan, I am wishing Alonso a successful season ahead. I know we will want the team to compete with the best in Europe, but we need to be realistic and give the coach time to succeed. It's going to need time. I think we made a lot of changes. I get it, even though I'd say we've been strategic with the signings. We're not just signing players for the sake of it. Even of that, I think we've signed too many players. We need to be patient. I think we should cash in on Neto and that 100 million, then invest in Osimhen. That would be a great business, I think. I don't think Osimhen gets to play
Still
for
listening
Chelsea
about
again.
Aston. Wow.
I don't think he gets to play for Chelsea again before he retires. Enzo's offer is between 220 to 280. Vic believes. João Pedro took number 9 jersey. You believe he's finished, so it looks like you're one of those superstitious fans. The curse of the number 9, even Morata dropped it. But in the case of João Pedro, he's had success already at the club. So yeah, let's see. Personally, for me, I am happy with the squad. We just need to focus on outgoings. We might end up still signing 1 or 2 more players, but I think that would depend mainly on how many players we are able to move on. João Pedro didn't push for a move to Barcelona because we offered him an improved deal. It's not that difficult to understand. That's what we believe is the case, and it's believable, I'd have to say. I'm not going to dispute that with you. It's very, very believable, but it makes sense.
Yeah, the new Barca,
Sign-on
no,
bonus,
the new
yes.
Barca
Yeah,
doesn't
go
pay
ahead.
much. The new Barca, if this was a few years back before they stopped, they would pay the money and he would go straight out. Because I can guarantee you, he'll be getting probably 300-400 grand a week. He would have probably gone. But look,
They were
Clear
paying
Lake set
crazy
up
money at the time.
contracts. Yeah, you got to give Clear Lake, their praise. They've done this to protect the club and to
And it's
protect
working.
their assets, and that's exactly what it's done. If you undercome with ridiculous money, well, you're not getting a guy who's got 8 years to go on his contract. If you're not coming up, to a player like that for 100 mil, well, don't even bother. So there's not many clubs that can do that, and Barca don't do that anymore. They just don't. They'll pay the wages, but they're not going to pay that much for a player, as in a fee.
Yeah. All right, thank you for that. Let's see
They have too much
this.
debt
Go ahead,
already.
Bobby.
They have too much debt already. They've been mortgaged, remortgaged, and double mortgaged.
That's all
They
right.
cannot afford to do that. Yeah,
Yeah, they don't pay a lot these days, but
they don't.
they were paying crazy money before.
Thanks to Messi.
What? But
Everyone, not just
do you
Messi,
remember how
everyone.
much they paid for Coutinho?
The
Yeah,
salaries you got to
yeah. I
look at.
mean, they were very irresponsible with
They
money.
were, yeah.
They were, and even with their um, financial levers, it was quite an irresponsible move as well. So they've got to be careful. They're not in a financially comfortable place at all. That's why they're looking for players usually on the cheap, and
Or older ones.
this money that they are rumored to be wanting to spend on Julian Alvarez would really be another somewhat loan again. It's a bit of a gamble on their point.
They've
I
recovered
think
a
they've
little
pulled
bit.
out. They're not going to push further
Well,
No,
Atletico won't sell to them anyway.
either, yeah.
they have
So
recovered
it's not like it
financially
was,
though. Yeah, they've recovered financially a little bit, so they are gonna start going
but they're
forward.
still in debt.
Yeah, they're still in debt, but they're recovered. So, as in they're not as bad as dire straight as they were before. So they're gonna be able to spend more money. Same with Real Madrid. We're gonna be start spending a lot more as well. So big clubs like that never die. They just don't. They can go through a phase, but they're gonna come back, and that's exactly what's gonna happen with that. But they're not gonna have the salaries they had, like Alba and all these Busquets. They were on 700-800K a week. The defenders were on like 600K a week. I think that was the average wage of 600K a week for everyone before.
They were paying
So
crazy money, yeah.
ridiculous money. Yeah,
And then when the financial situation hit them hard, they were only signing free agents and
free
players.
agents,
Yeah, and
really young
players who
players, or
just
really
wanted to
old
get the
players.
opportunity to play for them. You know,
Yeah,
yeah,
look, the name's still there, so people will still go
yeah.
because the name. Why? Because it's a stepping
The
stone, even if you
history,
don't make it.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. This is why I keep begging my fellow Chelsea fans to stop insulting Chelsea owners on social media because of your claimed love for Chelsea. Okay. But let's see what else we have here. VIP arrival. Modman is saying hello to somebody there. Dake Gideon Jovial say honestly, I think we should keep Enzo, but if he feels he cannot fulfill his dreams at Chelsea anymore, then let's not pressure him to stay at all. We need loyal players who okay, to keep. Here's the thing. I'm just going to say this. I don't think we're pressuring him to stay. We just have our valuation. We're not going to, because of him wanting to leave, selling him for cheap. Diogo Peter, good evening to you too. Thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. If you're in the chat, if you haven't, take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Caicedo and Osimhen, that's two masked men added to the list. I don't think Osimhen will ever get a chance to play for Chelsea until, if it happens, then I'll admit I'm wrong. The average time a professional footballer, a football player spends at a single club across Europe is 2 years and 3 months. Dante is spot on. It's a job, more importantly. Thank you for coming back, and please make sure you keep the topics aligned. I hope Alonso can be backed by the board. No, they're not backing him. They're probably going to fire him next month. All right, let's see. What else do you have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We won't not be selling Zhao anytime soon. But remember, if you like, you can have a player on a 30-year contract. If they want to leave, that changes everything. Have you and Dante? Gosh, this guy is back. I wish go back to where you were and leave me alone. All right, let's see. Big up to you too, Tammy. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, Bobby and everyone. Same to you. Big up. Anything else? Yeah, nothing. So we go back to see if there's anything we have lined up that we haven't addressed. All right, Zhao. Okay, this Aston Villa consider Nicholas Jackson. All right, and this just makes the theory that we were just waiting for 45 days to pass before, yeah, they will initiate talks with Chelsea. It makes it believable. This says if Oli Watkins moves to Al-Hilal, which looks likely, and I read something that suggests he's open to the move because, yeah, he's going to earn a lot of money if he moves there. If Oli Watkins moves to Al, what the heck? Thank goodness I copied this as I saw it. If Oli Watkins moves to Al-Hilal, one of the names on the consideration for Villa is Nicholas Jackson. Chelsea and Aston Villa ownership have a good relationship. Plus, Emery and Jackson have a good connection. It would have to be a permanent transfer or maybe a
I've got
loan.
something to say about
Not a
this.
loan. It cannot be a loan. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I haven't made any secret of the fact that I personally don't want to see Jackson leave, although it
Aha.
looks more than likely that he will be sold.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an interesting situation developing here. This Emmanuel Omega player, he's still injured. He wasn't included in the last preseason friendly. I haven't seen him in training since then, and I'm just we just don't want another injury-prone player at the start of the new season. I mean, I'm miffed as to what's going on with this guy. Um, and if that's the case, then what is the point in getting rid of a fit Jackson, who will give you a full season, and hang on to this guy who I can't remember the last time he played back to back games, not to mention a full season. I'm not saying sell him, but I'm saying that Omega probably it would be better to send him on loan and keep Jackson for
And
next season.
your main concern is that you don't remember the last time he played back to back games or maybe a full
Well,
season.
the main concern is that he's injury prone. Once the
Um,
player starts breaking down in preseason, it's an indicator, especially if he's come from an injury already.
all right, let me say this quickly. Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, or Dante, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. The injuries people list when you ask them to educate you on what they've seen that makes them believe, say, or that makes them say he's injury prone. They'll mention an injury that happened they were all last season because he played 30 plus games, 24, 25, didn't he? I don't think
Yeah, he
keeping
played.
Emega is an issue actually, but Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah. Last season he had it's probably his worst season. He only played I think 15 or 16 games. I can't remember. Before that, you'll have a little bit something here, a little bit there, but played. Still played.
Just like every other player, about
It's like every other player, but let's
players
not
too.
forget he's
Mhm.
6'6". He's a big guy. You're gonna get injured a little bit more than any other. That's the risk
Would
you
it be
take with.
accurate to say he's still growing, or maybe probably done
No,
growing
he's finished
and
growing
right
now.
now?
He's finished.
Okay.
Yeah. He's 23, 24. He's finished growing. So, yeah, look, but I'm just saying he's a big guy. So, you can get a little bit more injuries when you're a bit bigger like that. But it's not like he's injury riddled and he's out every season. That is definitely not the case. So, yeah, look, he's fine. The point the Bubby's saying there, why this, why that? Well, Bobby, I mean, you got to ask Nicholas Jackson, do you really think he wants to stay? I don't think that is the case, to be honest. He does not want to stay and compete. João Pedro is the main man. He's got a bit of that syndrome that he doesn't want that. I don't think he wants to stay and compete with Omega and João Pedro and Welbeck. I don't think he wants to stay because of that. And obviously, what happened last season with the
And
club,
if he goes to City, if he goes to Aston Villa, so to speak, he'd be a guaranteed starter there. Watkins, even if
pretty much.
Watkins is there, he's younger than Watkins. He's going to be playing quite a lot over.
They
He
signed
will
that
play a
young
lot more
18
games
year
than
old.
only Watkins. Yeah.
They signed that young 18-year-old, that big guy that played recently. He's not good, but he's 18. So, yes, they need another striker. So, like you said, that 45 days is important because when the owners met, etc., I think that was discussed. And I think probably waiting for this time. And I think he's probably waiting maybe to see if there's any other offers on the table because you're going to get other clubs coming as well for him, most likely. So he's just going to take the best one. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's Aston Villa. It's probably already agreed. But yeah, they've kept it quite hush hush. But the owners didn't just meet for one thing. When owners meet like that, there was more involved. So I think this was, and they haven't signed any other striker. So it's coming pretty close, and they haven't signed except that 18-year-old kid. So that tells me that there's one around the corner, and that's just about a couple of days away. So we'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, no, he's had injuries, but he's not a completely really bad injury
It was for
player.
me. The last time we talked about it, I phase to me, which I
You
think
see,
I think our doctors will take time to get to understand his situation very well and maybe find a very good way to manage it. And pay attention to what Vic says here, what we have on the screen here. It reads João Pedro, Welbeck, and Emera. That's the order. Let Jackson be happy. You could say I can remix that a bit to saying Jackson wouldn't want to be play second fiddle to anybody, let alone being number three. He'd be even
well,
as a Senegalese international. I
my
don't think he would want to stay. But Emera, for
my
me, I think he'd be
my
all right. Go ahead, Bobby.
my point is, this. I'm not saying that he's not earmarked to be sold. And if you listen carefully, I said it's probably likely that he'll be sold. But I'm looking at the squad planning. And the squad planning is critical for Chelsea. We don't need to
Mhm.
include a player who is an injury risk into that squad planning. Now, you're saying that Omega will probably be fine. And maybe that's the case because, after all, there's a full medical team who would be monitoring and reviewing him. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm thinking that, well, if he is in any way a doubt, then the solution could be to send him on loan whenever he is able to get on his feet and keep back Jackson. That's just my personal position. Now, all this talk of, oh, Jackson wants to leave and this and that, these are all personal points of view. There's no indication that he wants to leave. In fact, the published narrative is that he wants to stay and fight for his position. Whether it's believed or not is irrelevant. What they will do with him, they will do with him. If there is a deal already made and it's waiting for this 45 days clause, which is feasible, then that's what's going to happen. But I'm looking at the squad planning, I'm looking at the rigidity, the robustness of a squad that is going into a season that's going to be more fiercely fought than last season. Forget that there are new managers in City, Liverpool, and Chelsea, and Man United. This is going to be a brutally fought season. Arsenal are head and shoulders ahead of everybody, so it would seem, and they're still buying quality. But it's going to be brutal. The likes of Spurs, it cannot be discounted. Neither Everton. Okay, it's arguable that Newcastle have weakened, but Nottingham Forest is there. Look, it's there's going to be a battle, and whether it's just the domestic competitions you're focused on, you've got to be on point, and your players need to be fit, because what we have done effectively is revert back to a Pochettino season where he had the opportunity to play the players, get them into his system, but that was inhibited by what? Massive injuries. We don't want a repeat of that. That's just
Bobby,
my
let me
point.
put it for you this way: if Alonso wanted Jackson, do you think he would not be staying?
Well, there's no
Exactly. That's an
indication
important
that
question.
that he doesn't want him, and it's only time that will tell whether he's going to be staying or going. But I get your point. If he wanted him, there would be indicators. The fact that he wasn't even on the bench in the Real Sociedad final, for me, was an indicator that he's probably out the door. That's very true.
Even
But
prior games, he didn't give him a lot of minutes.
oh, he did. He played against the
He did a bit, yeah, he
Malaysians.
played a bit,
Not,
but
not
you got to
saying,
Uh,
say,
not, but not a lot,
yeah,
in
I
my
mean,
opinion.
yeah, I think he played enough. Remember, he was away. He didn't come back immediately.
That's
I
a
think
factor too. Yeah.
yeah. So I think he played enough. And preseason is about him more than the team. He would want to try and get fit.
yeah, and
So
Omega, he played the first two friendlies with which we didn't see. He played and scored in both of those as well. So Alonso did have a look at him the first two games as well, quite a bit. So he was back earlier, of course. So
is
yeah,
that
look,
enough, or is that a blue co compromise? Time will tell all these things.
no, I'm just
These
saying
are.
what I'm saying. If you really wanted Jackson over Omega, that would happen very simply. We've seen, he has. If he says that I don't want Omega, he's not good enough, he's injury prone, whatever. I want Jackson. Jackson would be staying. That's not happening. So that tells me that it's not just Alonso. It's not. Alonso maybe has a say in it, but I think Jackson has the most say in it. To be honest.
Okay.
All right. I think Jackson should be kept at all costs. you cannot keep. Listen, I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna read your comment anyway. I think, sorry, I think Jackson should be kept at all costs as a backup for our strikers should they need to be rested
That's
for more
you pretty
energy.
much said it there.
Because
Backup. He
yeah,
does not
because
want
we
to be a
have a lot
backup.
of matches in the domestic competition. It's not gonna work. People are just trying to, they like him, they want him to stay, but don't see him as an international who would want to be playing a lot of games so that when it's time for not international assignment to be called. But go ahead, Dante.
Just saying, he answered his own question. He would love him to stay as a backup. Well, that's the problem. Jackson does not want to be a backup, but I think that's one of the biggest problems. He wants to have more minutes, and unfortunately, this season especially, there is even more competition with the other two strikers, and there's less games, a lot less games as well. So minutes will be much less. Competition is even higher. Simple as that.
And I think the biggest problem is that people have refused to see things from Jackson's own perspective. They just feel like it'd be good to keep him, but not considering what's sensible. That they're not being people aren't being sensible enough to also think would Jackson want to play second fiddle to anybody?
Exactly, and even as a financial, but also where he is at his age, he's getting experience, he's getting a bit better. He is an international. He needs to play week in and week
He
out.
needs that. Otherwise, he will lose his place. He's actually not playing, even though he's been at clubs where he's been playing a lot. He's actually not playing that much for them. Let alone when he starts playing less for for his clubs, they're probably not going to call him up at all.
Yeah, and that we saw he didn't play much for Senegal, and he was off the bench option most of the sometimes. So he already started happening because he didn't play as much as Bayern, and so I think he knows that he's not 19, 20 anymore, 21. He's not that age anymore. Where you can ride it through. He's at that age now, even though he's young, but he's at the age where he needs to be starting every week for his image, for his own value, for his commercial value, for his agent, for everyone, for the business involved. It's everything, not just himself. There's more people
Yeah.
involved. So that's correct, coach. Then no one's looking at it from his perspective, and well, we're just sort of pointing that out. Yeah, that
Yeah,
could be
people are
very.
just being selfish. Dante, just give me a few minutes. I might need to put up the coffee thing because we haven't. I wouldn't mind doing that to learn also, but a few minutes and let me find out if my wife will be able to go pick up the kiddos or if I need to go do it myself. If I have to do it, if you guys cannot wait, I can put up the coffee thing, come back, address anything new that emerged and call it a day. But I'll be back in a minute.
Sure, go for it. Yeah, just on that. Yeah, I see a comment in the chat there as well. Says, yeah, it is public knowledge that Jackson wants to stay and fight for his place in the first 11, and so is the lap, according to Fabrizio. However, it seems the manager is opposed to that. Well, of course, that you have to say that. He has to say that. He said that last season, all the way up to when he went on his plane with his agent to Bayern Munich and didn't want to turn around because I think Vic said it there before. Planes don't fly backwards. What he said and his agent said. So, um, yeah. Look, what we said. It's from his perspective. Yeah, look, I don't think he would want. Is that stage where he needs to be a starter, and I think he realized that more than ever. Bobby going to Bayern Munich, he thought he's going to get a lot more minutes, maybe even be a starter there, but he was definitely not a starter. Look, if Harry Kane got injured, he would have probably been. But Harry Kane is a machine. He's pretty fit. He's played every single game. So, but I think that showed him that he needs to be a starter basically if he wants to play for Senegal as well.
He needs to be playing, no jokes. They have numbers there too. You know, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if
Yeah.
there's. I don't think there's anything else out there. If there's any need for a show in the evening, we'll do it. But I need to go pick up my boys.
Oh, I gotta go to sleep anyway as well.
Yeah. Even Bobby. It's late for Bobby too. Yeah. Anything else from you,
Yeah.
Bobby?
No, the squad's out, numbers are given. Yeah, maybe one or two may not be around to wear those numbers. We're coming up to a big game next Monday, in which I think Wesley Fofana is banned for the first two, or is it 3 games of the new season?
I don't remember really, but I think he's
See,
suspended
I can't
definitely.
remember.
we need to cut that sort of nonsense out of our game going forward. But yeah, there's not much happening at the moment. Sometimes no news is good news.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Bobby. With that, we've come to the natural end of this particular edition of the Blue Morning Show. I want to say thank you to Mabast 05, aka MB05. Thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. A bit late, nothing for me. He's already had success at Chelsea, so he's transitioning. If anything, he's going to change the number, or if you prefer, maybe he's going to bless the number. So, my opinion, he will continue upward trajectory for him. But Boaya, thank you for joining. Vic, my bro, thank you for joining. Nemaya Fowale was here, and John was also here. Who else was here? Tammy was here, and on the panel I have with me our senior panelist and Bobby, and also Ozyman in the captain of the community in Constantine. And if I miss your name, apologies, I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Take care. And a red card from a bust.
From the bridge to the stand, I carry that crest in my hand. Rain on my shoulders, still I stand. Tell me who wears it like we can. Mud on the boots, heart of gold. Those stories living in the cold. Every name that the walls still hold. I was born for this, I was told. Hear that roll in the air, feel that fire everywhere. We don't bend, we don't fold. We were cut from that blue gold. Blue till the end, blue till the end. We rise again, we rise again. Blue till the end, blue till the end. This is our name, this is our scan. When the pressure comes down hard, we don't flinch, we play our part. Every scar on the back says more than 1,000 songs before. From the first whistle to the last, we remember where we came from fast. No throne, no crown, no borrowed fame, just a city calling out that name.